What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence. Carrie is on assignment, I think, for the next couple of weeks. So just us three. Look, I'd love to fucking talk about games, but we need to continue talking about news because we had some pretty, it shouldn't be surprising news that dropped after the Switch 2 reveal event last week, where Nintendo has delayed Switch 2 pre-orders, but only in the United States of America. And if there are some people that are gobsmacked by that news, you really shouldn't be, because that means you must not be paying attention to literally anything else going on in the country right now. Do yourself a favor. Don't check your 401k right this second. You're probably not going to like what it is that you see. But yeah, so obviously I was wrong last week. I think when Nintendo rolled out the Switch 2 at $449, we assumed that they had baked in tariffs. And to be fair, I think they did bake in Chinese tariffs. I think that was part and parcel, part of the calculations. And as a result of that, people don't realize that Nintendo actually has moved a lot of their hardware manufacturing out of China and to countries like Vietnam and Cambodia because they see how the wind is blowing, especially with the current U.S. president in office right now, and even the Biden administration was encouraging companies to diversify where things are manufactured, so we as a country aren't as beholden to China from an economic standpoint. So Nintendo had spent that money, literally, probably millions of dollars to set up manufacturing in Vietnam and Cambodia. And then, sure enough, part of the tariffs that got announced by Donald Trump in the U.S. next week is a 46% tariff on Vietnam and an even higher tariff than that on Cambodia. If you didn't listen to Look Forward, long story short, basically Donald Trump is an idiot who views us having a trade deficit with a country as being bad, even though it just means that you buy more things from the country than they buy from you. Because I don't know if you're well aware of the economic situations in Vietnam and Cambodia, but they're not great. Generally pretty poor countries, hence why they're not buying a ton of American goods that are produced here in America. So trade deficits are fine. Saying that trade deficits are poor is like getting mad at Walmart because you buy stuff from Walmart, but they don't buy stuff from you. That's kind of the equivalent of how using trade deficits as a motive of calculating how you should tariff a country is set up. But Nintendo, I think it's fair to say, did not see that coming. And now they're going back to the drawing board to reevaluate if $449 is enough to charge for a Switch 2 in the United States of America, considering that every Switch 2 that gets imported from Vietnam is going to have an additional 50% cost associated with it.
Mm-hmm. That's $670. That's $670.
Well, it's only the cost of the Switch that they have to concern themselves with. So I mean, still a significant increase in price, in value. They don't have to concern themselves with the retail price.
Guys, the simple solution is to buy an American Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's right, guys. Just buy an American Switch 2.
There's no way that'll cost only $450 or $450, right?
Like, you realize, here's the thing I don't think people realize. Well, first of all, like, people don't want people to have like living wages, right? So, but still, if we get a $15 minimum wage and they start building these things in the United States, how much do you think it's going to cost? So they can cover the cost of paying the workers that fucking built the fucking product. Yeah. It's gonna cost more than $400. So we live in a hellscape right now. I feel like we're about to become Russia in like 4 years. Because this is what people wanted. Look, I'm never paying full price for a video game, a system, or anything like that ever again, because I just refuse. right? I've never paid $70 for a game. Like again, I haven't been gaming for like 3 or 4 years, so I wasn't playing anything when the price went up to $70. I do want to get like a handheld. It wouldn't be the Switch, but like I was prepared to pay like $600 anyway if I had the money. So that's not a big like the 440 something, the 450 for the Switch. Again, is a pretty decent price, but it's not like also a mini PC. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't use a mini PC. So
No, it's a locked ecosystem.
It's a locked ecosystem. So, hey, look, if you want to pay $550 for a Switch or 600, however much it's going to cost within the next couple of months, I don't know. Maybe it may still be 450, and they might just take a loss, considering.
No, they won't. No, they won't.
They won't.
No,
Nintendo never takes a loss.
Nintendo never
that's
loses
right.
money on hardware ever. Never.
So who knows? I don't know.
Yeah,
But like
they just refuse to sell it to you, motherfuckers.
Right.
Get the fuck out of
I mean,
here.
you're joking, but they would. They would be
They might
like,
not.
look, I mean, like I understand, like we have the biggest marketplace, but at the same time, they're just like, look, we're gonna charge what we're gonna charge. You fuckers are gonna buy it if you want it, and if you're not,
It's like you better import it if you don't want to pay the fucking the
Right.
region lock shits. You better learn Japanese.
no, well, I'm not saying, yeah, like the Jap, like they were they were very smart with that shit. I'll tell you that right now, region locking that console specifically. So.
And I know a lot of people listening to this show. Hopefully, not a lot of people listening to this show voted for Trump, but like a lot of people that like want Switches voted for Trump. So good, fuck you. That's all I gotta say. That's where I'm at.
I was particularly
that's where I am.
I was particularly enjoying some of the fucking chads on social media that were somehow blaming Nintendo for making this political.
How?
Yeah.
They didn't impose fucking 10% tariffs across the board.
No, they're just supposed to eat shit, Terrence. Don't you know? To bow to the God King and just take less money because
Not very consumer friendly, are they?
No.
All right.
Like, no corporation is consumer friendly.
Right.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Jesus Christ. Like you think people like again, we live in a capitalist society. Like no one wants to lose money. And they want as much money as possible, even when they don't really need it. So yeah, go fuck like you all right. Just look at the gaming industry and in general.
Well,
right? They don't sell enough
all this-
copies of a game and they just fire everybody. They just shut down
the gaming
whole
industry has been pretty shitty for quite some time now. Like pre first term Trump.
Right.
Like it's the gaming industry is like any other industry or any other, they believe in infinite growth and maximizing profits over people and slow to hire, quick to fire, right? Like it's the same stuff that all corporations do.
When you become like a powerhouse corporation, I mean, when you become a powerhouse industry, it used to, like in the 80s, gaming wasn't that big. So they were just taking chances. 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s, they were just taking chances. They were just putting shit out and like, hey, this is a fun game. And then now they're like $1 trillion industry, however much money the fucking video game industry makes. It's like, yeah, we want to make as much money as possible.
They're just as bad as the movie industry, where the movie industry is finally having its a bit of a comeuppance, but corporations don't want to take risks, right? They want surefire things, right? They want and very few companies can get away with their surefire hits. Nintendo is one of them, which is why Nintendo, like you said, Brad, like, no, we're going to charge what we want to charge.
Yeah.
Because
and it's interesting because like in an interview with Doug Bowser, like he was talking to The Verge, because they also asked him about like $80 Mario Kart World, and like he wasn't speaking about Mario Kart World specifically, but Doug Bowser said, hey, like we believe that each game that we believe is we believe each game is a unique experience, and so we will price games accordingly. They kind of did that too with Tears of the Kingdom. Like that was the $70 game when all the other Switch games at the time were $60 when that came out. They obviously believe that Mario Kart is worth $10 or $20 more than other Switch 2 games that are going to be on the console, considering the quality of the experience. And they're right. like they're one of the few companies that could probably get away with doing something like this. I think.
Look, I love Carrie, right? But she was kind of hand waving that shit away last week.
Right.
It was like, well, I mean, and look, they do make a quality product, man. But I wonder if all of the $80 Switch 2 titles are gonna say Zelda or Metroid or Mario on them, and all the other ones aren't.
100%, 100%.
And like I get it, but at the same time, man, like we're through the looking glass, people, right? Like we're we're here, and
Well,
yeah,
and if you don't believe
was,
that other publishers aren't going to be watching the sales response to
Oh,
Mario
yeah.
Kart World very closely,
That's what I said last week. I'm like,
1000%. Like Sony, like especially with their tentpole franchises, you better believe that the next
Spider-Man game is going to be $90.
right.
Wolverine might be $90.
Wolverine, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
we
I forgot
gotta-
all about that shit.
We gotta, you know, it's a premium experience, and then you gotta add the Marvel tax, right? Like, oh, well, you gotta get that licensing, so
Right.
we gotta keep it, and that costs, right?
Meanwhile, Marvel Rivals is free to play, but okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And Marvel Rivals
making
introduced
fucking-
Marvel Rivals recently introduced something that I never knew I wanted in my video game characters: thigh jiggle physics.
Are you
mean,
sure?
well,
Because you've told us some
honestly-
of the games that you've played.
I mean, honestly,
I've never seen-
kind of did it first.
Well, look,
Mecha
man.
Breaker or whatever. That
Look,
fucking
oh
robot.
yeah. You know what? You're right. You're right.
Like, that's
I'll give credit where it's
unnecessary,
due.
but okay.
But
Yeah.
I mean, but not only with software though too. Like I mean, trust me, Sony and Microsoft are going to be keeping a keen eye on the sales response to the Switch 2 in America, because right now they're probably sweating bullets as well. It's not like their shit comes from the US. Their stuff's manufactured in the same countries that Nintendo stuff is. And is it feasible to continue selling the PS4 for $500 in the US right now? Even though we're 4.5 years past the console's release, even though the price of the components themselves that are in the PS4 have probably gone down since the
PS4?
console has
I mean,
released. PS5, that's what I meant. Sorry, PS5.
All right.
But
That's
is that
what's really, it's really gonna fuck up like Microsoft like diehards.
Mhm.
when they
Microsoft
realize
might
that-
finally be like, nah, we ain't making no more systems.
right.
Because we
when-
definitely ain't going to make no money off these motherfuckers. No, they buy them already.
right?
Right. You can say goodbye to that 3 SKU nonsense going on now.
Right.
So I mean, this is that's my point though, is that this is not just going to be Nintendo. This is going to have reverberating effects throughout the entire industry in the coming months. And people that don't think that's going to happen are huffing copium right now, I suppose, to kind of get past that. And in every industry, industry.
So how much do you think those handheld those like PCs are going to cost? Like, what about a Steam Deck now?
Well,
Like, their components aren't fucking made in
the difference with Valve might be I don't know how Valve does production on the Steam Deck. It's very possible, and I could be wrong, that they do big runs at one time, and so their current stock might all be warehoused domestically already. So you might not see an uptick in Steam Deck pricing until like the next one comes.
I mean, just in general. I
Yeah.
mean, just in general. Like,
Well, but like
how much
for
are
the
these
next,
things gonna cost?
yeah, I mean, we might see it across the board. We might. It all depends.
The Rogue Ally costs $700. Like the premium, the Rogue Ally X or whatever it is, it costs $700 already.
Yes.
How
Now,
much is it gonna
Valve
cost?
Valve is a misnomer. Valve is an oddity in the fact that they don't give a shit about making money on the Steam Deck. They give a shit about getting you into Steam and making money from Steam. So like I think they would be willing to sell for a much thinner margin, just because they know that they will make it up on the back end from you as a consumer on shopping on Steam. And plus Valve also like Valve is one of those weird companies that just seems to kind of buck the trend of we must make all the money, just because Steam is such a profitable source of revenue for them that they're just like, yeah, we can do whatever the fuck we want, really. So like they would be the only ones that I would be like, you might see some price consistency with the hardware. But no, certainly like Asus and Lenovo, like I would imagine that those are gonna, like Lenovo's getting ready to release the Legion Go S, which is the Legion Go without the detachable controllers. Basically, they're also coming out with a lower SKU model that's supposed to be more comparable from a spec standpoint to the Steam Deck. That was supposed to come out around the Steam Deck pricing. Who knows if that's going to be the case now. It like I said, it's gonna affect things up and down the board. Um, Physical games, for all that is still a thing, might go up as well because again, those are all imported too. And when the price of physical goes up, the price of digital goes up with it because you can't devalue like one side of that equation because then retailers will get pissed at you and they'll fucking lose their shit over that. The only other option is you say, all right, we're just not going to do physical games anymore, which is a seismic shift in and of itself as well. So yeah, it turns out that much as a lot of people wish it weren't so, politics do in fact impact video games. Perhaps the one consistent message of this show for the last 12 years that we've been doing this podcast. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we'll finally talk about actual goddamn video games that we have played with our bare hands right after this. All right. So, Micah, I have been waiting with bated breath, literally for the last 3 weeks, to get your impressions on Assassin's Creed Shadows, a game that I am somewhat reticent to play because, as I told you, I feel like Ghost of Tsushima has ruined Assassin's Creed for me as a franchise.
Well, Brad, you're going to have to wait another 30 seconds because I want to briefly talk about South of Midnight. South of Midnight.
Yeah, it's out.
It is out. And
it comes out on Game Pass tomorrow, so I'll be playing that tomorrow.
It's pretty good. It's from Compulsion Games, and it's been getting pretty decent reviews. I like the vibe. I like the setting. It's set in the like American South, Louisiana type, South, and it's very folksy.
Mm-hmm.
It's described as Southern Gothic, and you play as this character named Hazel. Hazel has a black ass mother, and her black ass mother kind of gets swept away in this hurricane, and you are out to find her. And the game looks great. It's from Compulsion Games. I don't know if I mentioned that. Compulsion Games is the
We Happy Few, right?
studio behind We Happy Few, and this is a beautiful looking game and a beautiful sounding game. And one of the reasons I bought it is because I bang on about representation in games from time to time, and you got to put your money where your mouth is. So yeah, that's why I bought it, and it's a decent game. It's the combat, the actual gameplay is nothing to write home about. It's some pretty standard third person platforming and action adventure. You get introduced to some mechanics very, very early on, and I'm not deep into it. I've only played it for about 3 or 4 hours, and I feel like I have exhausted all of the gameplay mechanics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I'm just kind of playing it for the story, but I do think the story is very interesting, and I like the vibes. So if you got Game Pass, I mean, you should play.
I already have it pre-installed.
Yeah, yeah. I think you would like it. I think you would. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it next week, just because, the vibe is cool, man. It's like only the last time I played a game that had this kind of vibe was Shadow Man. Remember Shadow Man?
I do. Yeah, but
because they don't really,
they don't make games
in that
right
region of the world.
Right. Nobody, and it's one of the few places in this country that has a unique feel. That's not just some derivative of LA, Chicago, or New York, right? It is Louisiana and I don't know. I went to New Orleans. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do in New Orleans? I don't drink, right? Like, but you know, you go down there and you listen to all this wonderful music and you eat all this wonderful food, and it's like, yo, this is fucking dope, man.
Were you disappointed that Hard Target did not accurately depict the feeling and vibe of of Nolans?
I was also disappointed that that we were walking on Bourbon Street and a woman propositioned my wife, uh, and just looked right past me. Like, well, I can't get in on it. And it was just like, and she was. I mean, I was like, God damn. All right, this is what we're doing down here. But no, this game is pretty cool. If you got Game Pass, there's literally no reason to not check it out. The only reason I can think of is you don't want to play as a black woman.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about me as Whitey? Like, where's my motivation for?
She's biracial, Brad. So
Okay,
she's
Is she? You got a white father?
she got a white father. She got a white
Literally.
father, and you see her white grandmother, and it is, yeah, I like it, man. I like it. I think it's cool. It's one of the lists of it's on the list of games that I have resolved to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's cool.
Before you get to Shadow, I want to talk about Atomfall real quickly.
Okay. I love all these surprise additions to the docket.
So I have the Series S, of course. And Atomfall is a double A game. I didn't like it.
I gotta be honest. I like learning about the game and knowing you. Like, I did not think that it
no.
would.
Here's the issue with the game. Like, I played the Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4.
Yeah, but those don't take place in London, governor. Like, I'd imagine a lot of the British isms.
Here's the issue that I had with Atomfall, I'll say Fallout. For some reason, again, I know that the system is not very powerful. Like, it's closer to like a PS4 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But this game in particular was really bizarre to me because it runs 4K, like 60 or like 1080 60 on everything else. I guess on a PC, it's got like ray tracing and path tracing, whatever bullshit that they throw in there now. But on the S, it runs at 1080 30. Exactly. It does exactly. Right. Exactly. Like, I'm like, and it's like a bad 30 frames per second, right?
Oh,
like,
it's not even locked.
There's games that run at 30 frames per second. And it's like, okay, this is fine, whatever. Like Warhammer runs at 30 on the S, but it's fine. I have no issues with it. This game runs at 30 frames per second. There's no anti-aliasing, so it's like jaggy as fuck. It's fucking bizarre. It looks really kind of bad. Like, the setting looks fine, but the graphics themselves. I'm not a graphics whore. I'm playing games forever, so that doesn't really matter to me. But when I'm looking at this game, I'm like, this looks like a PS3 game from like 15 years ago. This is weird. I don't know what's going on. But the last straw is the controls. I don't know how it controls on PC. I'm assuming it controls way better because it has a mouse and keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
But on a controller, there's an input lag, like a severe input lag, to the point where I thought my TV was broken. I was like, I have a TV that's got like game mode and it's like incredibly low latency. Like, it's just 1-to-1 almost. And I was playing this and I'm like, is my TV fucked up? So I disconnected the system and hooked it up to my monitor to see if it was if my TV was the problem. No, it's the game.
And
like, that's
bizarre.
It's so bad that I spent like 5 minutes trying to like tweak the sensitivity to see if I could work around it. No, it's apparently it's on the S. It's so bad, like, other people are like, yeah, it's really fucked up. So like trying to aim a gun,
yeah,
no, thank you. And then like I deleted it when I was finally walking around this town for like 30 minutes, and I realized I hadn't done anything because it's not like they don't have like it's not the Ubisoft thing where there's like waypoints all over the place. Like, you have leads that you read a piece of paper, and it's like a clue. And you read it and you go, okay, let me go here. Where you put a point on your map to go to, and then you just kind of do that over and over. You talk to people and all this other stuff, and I'm like, I'm fucking bored. so I was like, yeah, the controls suck. The game doesn't look that great, and like, I'm bored. 3 strikes, you're out. So
Yeah.
maybe if I played it on a different system, I may have enjoyed it a little bit more. If the controls weren't so bad, I think I may have been able to see it through. But like, I don't know if it needs a patch or what, but it's bad on the Series S. Like, it's really bad. And I'm like, again, I was playing Resident Evil 3 on the Series S, and they have a high frame rate option, 120 frames per second. And my TV has 120 frame panel on it, but it's not 4K 2120, it's 1440 120. And like, that game looks amazing.
Yeah.
Granted, like, it's smaller areas, but still, there's no excuse for the game to look like this.
I think there's some developer stuff with that. I mean, like the Rebellion, if I'm not mistaken.
Rebellion, yeah.
Made Atomfall, they did the Sniper Elite games, which, like you said, they're AA titles.
Yeah.
But they're smaller in scope. Like Capcom knows what the fuck, like like the Resident Evil team knows what the fuck they're doing.
The RE engine is very well optimized for certain things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how optimized it is for Wilds. Even
good,
on the
good enough
on consoles.
Good enough.
But yes, it was so. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this is really unacceptable. I get it, it's Rebellion, but they've been around for a long time. They made a lot of games. So this engine that they're using, nah, man, like, get out of here. There's no excuse for this. Not on the system. Like, they just were like, fuck it. No one has the S, so whatever. And it's on the Xbox One too, dog.
Okay, that's a little fucking weird. That
game is also on the Xbox One, so I'm like, this is crazy. I don't know what's happening, but like, I don't know if they're gonna update it. I mean, again, it's them, so they might not.
Cyberpunk runs okay on the S, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Cyberpunk runs between 60 and 100 frames per second. They optimize it so good to the point where that's how well it runs, and this game doesn't. 30. Sometimes, like, nah, nigga, like, get out of here, dog. That's unacceptable, especially the way it looks. I was like, get the fuck. This is bad.
So before, since Mike interrupted himself and Terrence interrupted, I'm going to interrupt you too, and then we'll take a break, and then you can talk about Shadows uninterrupted for a long time. So a lot of these like pachinko / like Peggle roguelikes have been coming out, and I played a few. And I tend to really like enjoy my first couple runs with them, and then there's diminishing returns, right? So like I've talked about Peglin on the show. Peglin really enjoyed the first 2-3 hours, kind of fell off. Ballionaire is another one. Really enjoyed like the first run or two that I beat, and then kind of fell off because it just kind of felt samey. But I think we finally found the champion of this particular genre of game. From a very unexpected place. This is from, I think, mainly a solo dev. And it's on Steam for like $5. It's called Nubby's Number Factory, which is a game that I've heard about in podcasts. And holy shit, this game has been fucking consuming a lot of my life right now. So Nubby's Number Factory, it's one of these like ball popping games that it takes place on like a smaller grid, right? And you have different pegs on the board. And you shoot a nubby, which is like a mascot of this fictional company, essentially, at the pegs. And all the pegs have a score number on them. And when you hit a peg, it gives you that many points for the peg. And then the peg gets halved. So, like, if a peg is worth 16, you hit it, you get 16 points, then it's worth 8. And obviously, like, if you hit a 1 peg, it clears off the board. And you're trying to clear as many pegs as you can. Each round, you have, like, a target score that you're trying to hit. And if you exceed the target score... by like if you double the score or triple the score, for every time you exceed the target, the game like re-racks the board for you, and when it re-racks, it basically like combines the pegs together to double the value of them. So you want to exceed the score by as much as possible so that you have higher pegs to shoot for when the board kind of resets for the next level. And then because this is a run-based game, there's different items that you can buy that do various things that, you know, make your run get silly. And then there's different perks that you can also use to trigger all the items. The other thing about this game is that the art style, the aesthetic, the music, everything in the game is kind of modeled after like a 1997 Flash website, essentially. Like it's using like clip art with like very rudimentary graphics and special effects and stuff like that. The music is like this real like laid back synthy like trance fucking style game, and the animations are not truly animations, they're just multiple still images like in different poses played in sequence, kind of like old gifs and stuff like that. So as an old man who remembers the internet when it just looked like this in general, tickles the nostalgia bone quite a bit for this day that you kids have no idea. This is what we used to put up with on the web all the time, essentially. It's really good, and the developer's continuing to work on it. Like, it's not in early access necessarily, but he's continuing to develop the game and add more things to it and refine just how the game plays. But of all of these, like of one of these styles of games, it is easily the one that I think has the most legs. Just because it's really fucking satisfying, and of course it does all like the dopamine shit. Where
I'm looking at some video, like I see all the numbers popping all over the place.
Yeah,
I get it. It looks like a GeoCities website.
It
like
does. It very much does.
Yeah.
But like I said, it is the closest that I've gotten to scratching that like Peggle itch in one of these style of games, and one to tell me like I've put 10 plus hours into it already, and I want to continue. There's a lot of stuff to unlock in the game as far as different like starting abilities that you get, and they have challenge modes where you have to play with different parameters and restrictions and stuff like that. So yeah, Nubby's Number Factory just kind of came out of nowhere on this scene, but it's really fucking good. And if you like these style of games, highly recommend it. I think it's like $5 on Steam right now, so definitely worth a punt. If it sounds
this game costs like a nickel for this dude to make, and he's gonna break bank on this game.
Mm-hmm. As well he should.
AAA games.
As well he should, because it's fucking awesome.
GTA 6 is gonna cost $1 billion. It's gonna make its money back, but like, come on, that's obnoxious.
Yep. You better believe it. So, all right. Well, we will not tease you anymore. We'll take another break, and then we will finally talk Assassin's Creed when we come back. All right, Micah. So, Assassin's Creed Shadows. You've been playing it. I am curious to know your thoughts about it. Lay it on us all.
I like it. I'm kind of predisposed to like it.
Are you?
So
I just saw the nigga busting through doors. I was like, that's kind of offensive, but okay. Anyway, continue.
It kind of is. It's offensive on multiple levels. Because one, like, this dude is strong enough to bust through doors and just like bowl people over, but like he can't jump. He can't jump. He can't climb. Like, come on, man. Like, get your stereotypes correct.
Talk about fucking phrases I wish I could use as the title for this episode. Holy shit.
This might sound like a backhanded compliment, but Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out the box working. And
it's not really. I mean, if that's a fact,
And so a little bit about me. I played every mainline Assassin's Creed game, and a few of the like spin-offs that are, I played the one in China. I played the one in India. Those were like handhelds. And my favorites are this one, the one set in Greece, the one set in Egypt, and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. So the second of the Ezio trilogy. And I really wanted to like Unity. But, that game came out looking like garbage, quite literally. And a lot of it has to do with the settings for me. Those settings are, the ones that interest me the most. Look, this is an Assassin's Creed game. Okay, if you are kind of sick of, there's stuff on the map to do, and it's like the map is dotted with stuff all over the place, and like there's stuff for you to do. You got to kind of find it, which is a little frustrating because they have this one system where you have like certain scouts and they give you clues as to where things are, and it's your job to send a scout out. And what the scout does is essentially open up the map for you if you send one to that location. It's a very it's kind of a tedious mechanic that you can turn off. I turned it off. Just like I know what I want to do. I want to go to where I want to go. Um, these two characters play very very differently. And here's the thing with with this game, it's not perfect, right? A lot of what this game is playing with the two protagonists, but but you only need one. You only need Naue, the actual Assassin's Creed character, right? Because that character moves and plays like an Assassin's Creed character that you know. Yasuke is a fun character. He's very good, but he excels at the thing that is always been the worst part of Assassin's Creed, and that is the combat. The combat is just, it can be engaging for a little bit if you're Naue and you make it and you play like you're supposed to, like the game wants you to play, but you don't have to play like that. You can just spam your weak attack button and get through most fights. Especially with Yasuke. Yasuke is incredibly overpowered, especially like towards the end of the game, where you have a multitude of a wide variety of abilities that can have you like damn near insta kill people or regenerate health while you're doing certain moves. He's 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 overpowered. He's overpowered, and it's not fun to be overpowered unless that's kind of what you want to do. And the game kind of tries to have like mitigating factors so that you can't just like rampage. But like once you get to the end game, you can just rampage because like you're unstoppable. Now is the character that you want to play as if you want the true Assassin's Creed experience, right? Um, the the writing is awful. It just is. It's not very good. The story is set up in a way that is very intriguing, and um, it makes you want to kind of pursue, the end goal. Um, your father is killed, and there are by 12 people, right? Like 12. These 12 people are wearing masks, and your father steals a MacGuffin, and they want the MacGuffin, and they
Oh, weird.
proceed
Is it an
to.
apple of Eden? What a shocking plot twist.
It's in a box. It's in a box that's big enough to hold a spherical object of some sort, and the 12 of them are there. They proceed to beat the shit out your dad, and they leave you for dead. And now you want to go take revenge on them, but you don't know who they are. So throughout the game, you have to kind of follow clues to identify these people and then go kill them. It's an
Same story.
interesting.
So it's the same story as Origins.
It's the same
Like
story
they
as
killed your son
Assassin's
in
Creed.
Origins.
It's the same
Yeah,
story as
but yeah,
Assassin's Creed.
Terrence Valhalla had the same. I mean, the secret society part of it was not the main focal point of the plot, but it had the secret society part of it in Valhalla
Right.
as well. So
It's an Assassin's Creed Assassin's Creed game. Like it just is, man. So they're not redefining anything with this franchise. They have iterated on it and they have polished it to a sheen. But if you don't like that game, if you don't like that style, if you are just tired of it, this is not the game for you. Um, the thing with the story is that, and this might be an open world game problem. Um, it's very just disjointed, and you kind of have to force yourself to run through the critical path, but you can't because you'll be under leveled. So there's other stuff that you have to do.
That's the biggest thing I hate about
Right.
Assassin's Creed games.
And if you
The new
don't
world.
do if you don't do that stuff, you will be under leveled. You won't have, so they force you to go out and do all this other stuff, and then you lose the plot. And once you lose the plot, the writing's not strong enough to bring you back, man. Like it's just not. Like some of the romance, one line where where Naoe was trying to romance someone, and she says something like, "I had a really good time, and I'd love to meet your friends too." Like, what the fuck? Huh? Like, it's just weird.
Like what?
And it doesn't help that I don't know who the English voice actor is for Naoe. It would not surprise me if this is her first voice acting job, just because it sounds like a '90s anime. Like just the delivery. It doesn't sound. I don't know. It doesn't sound right, right? And
Yeah, but
also,
is that
like,
acting or direction? Do you think?
I think it might be a little bit of both because other characters sound fine. Other characters sound fine. There are only a couple instances where um, I would say a character is embodying Mr. Uniyoshi a little bit, but you know, not too much, right? But I think it's an acting thing. Yasuke he sounds fine. Like he sounds fine. And he has his own story that doesn't really pick up until like the end of the game, where
Mhm.
you're essentially like going after people who have wronged you. Uh, I really liked it. Um,
Having seen the beginning of the game where you play as
Euro
Yasuke, I understand.
yeah, yeah. So yeah. So but you're still, you're still doing the Ubisoft stuff.
Yeah.
That's another thing that's not. This is a great podcast game, right?
Mm.
Like if you just want to like zone out and just like you're still climbing up stuff, right? You're still looking over vistas that do the Michael Bay like camera shot, right, where it spins around. Um, it's it's the first the it's the Assassin's Creed game that I've been waiting for since Odyssey. I really enjoyed Odyssey.
I put like 89 hours in Odyssey.
Right, like I
That's
really
a
enjoyed
lot of
Odyssey. I really enjoyed Odyssey, and I put like 95 hours into this. Like
time.
I really did enjoy my time with it. So I'm being critical, but don't mistake that for being like, oh, this game is garbage, right? Like, no, it's not. It's probably the best Assassin's Creed game from a technical aspect and from a combat aspect. But combat has always been kind of iffy with Assassin's Creed. Now I know everybody, we can't just enjoy things,
Mhm.
right? We always got to pit things against each other. And the big question is this game that came out in 2025 better than the game that came out 5 years ago in Ghost of Tsushima? And in some ways, it's not. In some ways, it is, and in some ways, it's not. This game did not. This game, Shadows, did not need dual protagonists. It just
Mhm.
didn't. As much as I like Yasuke, it didn't need dual protagonists. Ghost of Tsushima, you can do everything that those two protagonists can do, and it's baked into the story, right? Like in Ghost of Tsushima, he is an honorable samurai, and killing people from the shadows is what cowards do, right? Like that's the whole struggle that faces that character, right? And it's baked into the plot, and it makes more sense. But Assassin's Creed Shadows does the stealth better than Ghost of Tsushima.
It
They
better. It's
have
called Shadows.
right. Like you better, right? You better, right? It has this lighting system that I don't know why Ubisoft like dropped, but like they were doing that back, during Splinter Cell, right? So
Yeah.
enemies are smarter, right? Now I would probably bump up the difficulty, but enemies are smart, right? Like they look up. You can't just hide on rooftops anymore, right? They will look up, and certain enemies will seek you out, others will not. There are other um, enemies that pose no threat physically, but if they see you, they will run and go get someone who will pose a threat. And enemies can swarm on you pretty quickly if you are, especially as Naue. Like if you're Naue and you get caught, like you got to get out of there because you're not going to be able to hold your own, at least not in the beginning. So I can appreciate what Ubisoft has done in terms of like polishing this well broad this game that they have done for years and years and years and years. But it's not writing anything. It's not bringing anything new to the table, right? Like and in the world, right? Like Tsushima took place on an island, and it's gorgeous, and it's kind of what you imagine uh, ancient or 16th century, 15th, 17th century Japan would be. In that, like colors are saturated a little more. It's things kind of are wavy. Everything just every shot in Ghost of Tsushima looks like it could be wallpaper, right? And in Shadows, everything is it looks good, but it doesn't have that like it looks good from like a technical level, right? Like you open a textbook and you get a vivid imagery of what this actually is, as opposed to Ghost of Tsushima, where it's someone telling you how beautiful it is, right? They make a big deal about weather in the game. It's a gimmick. It doesn't really. It's a gimmick. The day-night cycle is more of a gameplay factor because certain castles that you have to infiltrate, and there are a ton of these things, and they're kind of like puzzles, right? You got to infiltrate them, kill a certain number of a certain type of enemy, and then get the treasure once you do that, right? And during the day there are more people there. And at night there are less people there, and then some of them are nodding off and sleeping and stuff like that. But the day night cycle, I mean, three of the seasons don't affect gameplay, and then winter only affects gameplay in that you can't run in heavy snow, or you can't dive into certain water because it's frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a gimmick. Also, narratively, it doesn't really make sense. There are 4 seasons in a year. I don't know how many fucking years this took place for me to like kill these 12 people, right? But it had to have been like over the span of I don't know, 50, 11 years, Like it doesn't make sense, right? Like it doesn't make sense. You have all these. So the seasons thing, I get it, but it doesn't look. It's just a gimmick. It didn't need to be there. Spring and summer are the only ones. Well, spring and fall are the only ones you really need to. And spring and fall make the game look gorgeous. Fucking wintertime, everything's dead. Everything's white. Everything is just frozen over. It doesn't look as good. So, but that's neither here nor there. Look, I had a good time with it. If you are an Assassin's Creed fan, if you're a lapsed Assassin's Creed fan, I would, but you like those games, I would play it. But for you, Brad, I don't think you would like it. I don't think you would like it at all.
And here's like, it's interesting hearing you talk about it, right? Because like I was trying to figure out like why Ghost of Tsushima spoke to me in a way that the last couple of Assassin's Creed games haven't. Like, and I did enjoy Odyssey when I played of it, but I didn't beat it. I beat the main quest, the main campaign in Valhalla, but I didn't do the other quest lines that there were available in the game. And like, and part of it is the fact that Ghost of Tsushima is more focused. It tells a really good story, and you can do everything in the game in 50 hours. And the plot always feels like, even when you're doing side missions, it still feels like the plot has momentum. And like hearing you say that like losing, like when you are forced to go grind stuff, that you lose the plot is a concern. Because like you said, it's this kind of thing that it's almost like where like you make it sound like it's just happening the every 5 or 6 hours that you choose that you have to engage with the main story, and then everything else you're doing is just completely disjointed from what's going on, essentially.
Yeah, because you know, you you have to seek out these 12 people, and these 12 people each have their own individual stories. But the only thing tying them together is at the end, now is like, where's the box, right? Because and it's like, all right, like the actual story is not. You don't come there for the story, and that's the biggest disappointment, right? Like they still have not figured out a way to make something, to make a compelling narrative, to make the narrative be the thing that drives me, and not just here's a thing that I got to check off, right? Like, because we all have that like thing with us, right? Where it's like, just one. That's why we got stuck in the hinterlands, right? Because it's like, all right, well, I mean, like, I got to check this. I got to check this off. I got to check this off, right? That's the thing that drives you, not this, not this plot.
Yeah,
And
that's the Ubisoft formula.
That's the Ubisoft formula, man.
And
I finished Far Cry 5. I ran credits on Far Cry 5 a couple days ago. That game is pretty. I really enjoyed that game. I don't know, what the ending of Far Cry 5 is. Kind of wild.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah,
I didn't know. I've been sheltered enough not to see what the ending was. That shit was crazy. I'm like, ain't this a bitch? I lost. It was awesome. Like not knowing it and actually seeing it. It was awesome. Yeah. Anyway.
But the other thing that bothers me is that, so like with the Assassin's Creed games, like they take place in these huge, vast, like open worlds, right? And yet I feel like that none of the places you go have an identity to them.
They all look the same.
Whereas even 4 years later, I can still distinctly describe specific locations that you visit in Ghost of Tsushima. I can navigate around that world map, especially in like the first area, like where you spend a lot of the time being in the game, without needing like the in-game map, just because like I remember landmarks, and all of the places that you go look visually distinct. Like I still remember like the one forest with like the autumn trees with like these pretty yellow trees that are all up and down this river line, and like that's awesome, and like you feel like a real sense of like you're in a real place. To your point, you said it earlier. Like it looks like what you imagine that place would look like in that era, even though the map itself is considerably smaller, and it's plenty big. It's not like the map in Ghost of Tsushima is small. Like there's 3 regions, they're fucking massive. Yeah. But because they don't feel the need to like, because they're focused on quality over quantity of content, and that's the one thing also that I heard about Shadows is that it's like, all right, when you're on the main road, when you go into the towns, when you're in like searching the castles, it's very cool. Like these places look lively. It looks like they're like like place people live in. But then when you get out into the countryside, there's nothing. Like it's just an open, vast space for you to traverse to get to the next like main focal point. And Valhalla was the same way. And Odyssey was the same way. Like even when I played of Odyssey, like when you were going from point A to point B, like you could have didn't Odyssey also have like an auto horse button? Like couldn't you just like fucking like tell your horse just to go?
Yeah. They took that away, by the way. What the fuck?
Because I used the hell out of that in Origins. Right. Origins was pretty unique in like each place. Well,
because that was the first one that was like that.
Right.
That was the first of the RPG style Assassin's Creed games. So that makes sense because it felt fresh. But then they just repeated that formula. Yeah. This is the 4th time now. So like, yeah, I think like from what you're saying and from the other reviews that I read, I think I'm just gonna wait for Ghost of Yotei since that's coming out this year, and I think that'll give you the experience that I kind of want from a game like that.
Yeah. Well, do you think if the Assassin's Creed series did what Ghost of Tsushima did with like very little HUD, because like what did you have, like your health bar?
Yeah, your health bar and your little
Tsushima,
activation
right,
and your stance.
there really wasn't a lot of clutter on the screen. Do you think if Assassin's
No,
Creed were to do that, I mean, they
I
would have to shrink the fucking world down a little bit because it'd be way
Well,
too much.
no,
that's what they
because in Ghost of Tsushima, like they actually had you doing things in all the different areas. You know what I mean? Like even if it was just like a side quest, like they still forced you to kind of interact with the world around it and interact with the environment and kind of learn the lay of the land a little bit. And like we said in Assassin's Creed, like you're like it's the scenic route. Like it's just something to look at as you're going to the next
yeah,
destination.
I think Ghost of Tsushima. I think the folks at Sucker Punch did a meticulous job of curating a map.
Right, to do it, then so they didn't have to have all that
And
nonsense.
Assassin's Creed, they, you know, they do what they always do. Like, okay, here's a map, mountain, chest, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. It's like it's not as it doesn't have the same care. It's like a machine did it, right? It's Ghost of Tsushima is like an artist painting a landscape, and Assassin's Creed is like, hey, AI, make me a picture of a landscape, and you know you can tell a difference. You just can. Now, what this did is it really made me excited for Ghosts of Yote, because I'm super excited to see what that team can come up with, not just to one up themselves, but now that they are able to glean what the one thing about Ghosts of Tsushima, it didn't it felt it looked so good it didn't feel real, right?
Mm-hmm.
It felt surreal, and Shadows does feel real, right? Like you have different weather effects, like when it's raining, people like the NPCs they are programmed to like run away or to seek shelter. They cover their faces and stuff like that. The towns, there are sometimes there are bandits who come in and try to assault people, and then the guards come in. It felt a little more alive in the towns, right? But you know they are you gotta really kind of you gotta get to them to see it, right? And on your way there, you're looking at the same tree. You're looking at quite frankly, you're looking at the same white line on the road, trying to get you from place to place. Whereas I don't know why they didn't just rip off that the wind guiding system. Um, like it makes you appreciate the world more.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, look, it might sound like I'm overly critical. I'm not trying to be. Like I said, I put 96 hours into this game. I got a platinum in this game. I don't platinum games that I hate. I don't put 96 hours in games
A
that
long
I hate.
fucking time.
So it is a very good game, and if you like Assassin's Creed, this is probably technically, on a technical level, this is the best Assassin's Creed. Um, but if you are not into it, then I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't necessarily recommend.
All right, well, that's good to know because I mean, at least that way, I'm not. I know I'm making the right choice by skipping this one, or at least until it goes on like a deep discount at some point. Maybe I'll check it out. Fortunately for Ubisoft, though, Micah, and I'm frankly shocked by this. It debuted on Steam to a very positive rating, which means that over 80% of the people who reviewed the game on Steam recommended it.
Yeah, you
Uh,
wouldn't realize it the way people are
Yeah.
flabbergasted at the fact that black people exist. Um, like that just goes to show you that like that like there's a vocal minority, but that vocal minority is incredibly loud, and it
Mm-hmm.
just is like normal people don't give a shit, bro. Like if you're just a well-adjusted human being, like who gives a shit?
Right.
Like, I mean, honestly,
I mean, and
it
to your
just
point,
doesn't.
this is a game with a lot of wide mass appeal, and you're probably right. Like most people didn't even know about the controversy. They were just like, "Yeah, I just want to play. I just want to be a stabby ninja and her giant sword wielding friend with the big spike bat."
Right.
Like that's all that's all that they're really looking at here.
Yasuke, they they people treat him differently, and they're like, "Oh, they treat him differently because he's a samurai." No, no, no.
What?
They treat
Like,
him different.
have you seen YouTube videos of black people in Japan?
Right,
Now?
exactly. Are you LeBron James? Jay went to Singapore, and someone asked, "Was he Kobe Bryant?" Come on, yo, come on. The, get out of here,
Please
man.
tell me he said yes.
I don't think he
Honestly,
did. I'd have said
yes, I
yes. Yeah, what you gonna give me?
Picture.
Give me a discount. But they treat him differently, and they treat him. It's funny because like they treat Naue like get out of here, woman, right? They don't say woman, but it's like get out of here, right? And they treat Yasuke, this gigantic dude who's a head taller than everybody that's not an elite level NPC antagonist, right? They're like, oh yes, yes. So I no bullshit. I walked into a temple, right? This was part of a quest. I'm literally talking to a monk, and this NPC woman comes in, and she literally does this when she comes in. She damn near fell. She was taken aback. She was like, "Oh my god!" Like,
That's funny. I mean,
it was a trip.
that
Man.
might be accurate.
It might be accurate.
I
man.
mean, in 16th century Japan, probably isn't accurate.
Yeah, it probably is.
A giant
man.
black
It
guy
probably is.
running
She's
around.
a giant black dude running roughshod. But like at the same time, right? Like one of his moves is just like him barreling into doors and barreling into people. But like he can't jump. He's got a 1 foot vertical, yo.
Insane to me.
He's got a 1 foot
Terrence,
vertical.
he's wearing all the armor.
He's got a lot of armor.
Yeah, that's
He's
what
wearing all the
everybody says.
armor.
That's what everybody say. Nah, yo, nah. I'm not buying it. I can make him wear a Ronin outfit that's got no armor on it whatsoever, and he still has that 1 foot vertical. And he lumbers, man. Like it's so wild playing him. Running on. I'm literally Naruto running on rooftops with Naue, and Yasuke, he can barely hold his balance, right? Like it's a trip, man. It's a trip. They did a good job of making those characters play very differently, but at the same time, like until you get Yasuke up to like the higher levels where you have a wide variety of things to at his disposal, he's not really fun to play. But look, that's enough about. It just tripped me out. Like Yasuke's like, all right, bro, all right.
I mean, look, that basketball hadn't been invented yet, so he couldn't
Yeah.
yet. So. Oh my goodness.
I'm glad that the game is doing well because
I am too. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because a little shaky at first.
Well, I mean, and I feel good for those developers because, like I said, they've had to put up with a lot of bullshit.
Ubisoft.
Yeah. Well,
fuck Ubisoft.
Yeah. Speaking of fuck Ubisoft, look, someone should should make a course about the. I mean, the Guillemot brothers obviously don't know how to run a gaming company in 2025, but they sure do know how to keep themselves relevant in gaming during that time. So there's on the heels of Assassin's Creed comes this news that Ubisoft has launched a new subsidiary that they have spun off just Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, and Far Cry onto, which Tencent now holds a minority stake in this new entity. They invested a little over $1 billion into this new subsidiary with the Ubisoft franchises that actually make money. Apparently, the Ubisoft brand and mismanagement has become so toxic that they had to spin off the successful parts of their business into another company that the Guillemot brothers still control somehow. So basically, they have valued this new subsidiary at $4 billion. If this is valued at $4 billion, I shudder to think at what Ubisoft itself is valued at now, without these things being technically under their roof anymore. The thing that's interesting about this is, and I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on this, is do you think this opens the door to Ubisoft potentially licensing out these franchises to other developers? Yeah.
Other developers would give it a fresh coat of paint, I guess, but I don't. Would they like be willing to? Because when you license something out, are they giving you money to license it out? Or
No, you are paying them.
You're paying them to license it
to
out?
acquire the license. Yeah.
To acquire the license.
Yeah.
Huh. So if you really want, like, if somebody really wanted to make their version of an Assassin's Creed,
they'll pay.
They'll pay. I mean, look, I wouldn't mind it. Lord knows this, all three of these franchises need a shakeup.
Yeah, Far Cry 6 sucked.
Yeah.
I don't like Far Cry 6 at all.
Yeah.
And my man, what's his name?
Giancarlo Esposito.
However you say his name. Him in it. And I'm like, this is disappointing. But it was just the game itself. I don't know. It's the same formula, but there's just something felt off about that game. I didn't really like it that much. Assassin's Creed, I like the formula, but
you need more than just like how much you enjoy the location, right? Yeah. And you can't just keep doing the same thing in different locations, and because you're gonna hit a location that you don't want, and it's like, so yeah, you need. Look, I hope they do. You need fresh eyes on things. Do I think they'll do it? I mean, them Guillemot boys, they seem to be like hard up. You know what I mean? Like they come off to me as like, I suck your dick, baby. You know what I mean? Like just give me some money, man. They seem kind of like
they are desperate to keep their hands in control of what they have built, essentially. Like that's the long and short of it, is they want so badly to ensure that they still have a hand on the wheel with their company, which, I mean, look, I understand it. I'd like to think that I don't have the ego to hold on for dear life. Instead, I'll take my fat payday and let it be somebody else's problem at some point. But then again, I'm not a CEO, so which I imagine you have to have a major ego to be in that role. So,
but then we get Amazon James Bond. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, and who knows? Look, who knows what that's going to be? Who knows what it's going to be? I don't know.
But like, even just and put Assassin's Creed aside, like if you just look at Rainbow Six and Far Cry, if you have someone come in and just do a version of those games, one version, like it doesn't have to be like this is the direction the series is going to go in, but imagine how fresh it would feel to have an old school version of each of those. Like, what if you did like a Far Cry 2 version of a new Far Cry game, and what if you did like a self-contained like old school Rainbow Six, like Breach tactical, even you could even do it cooperatively, but like that style of game, it would feel new, even though it very much isn't, because that's what we had
years old.
right before. So
right.
So it'll be interesting.
Far Cry 2. Like it was unique.
I think the issue is that, like, let's say that works, right? Mm-hmm. Them Guillemot boys, they like,
right.
Let's do it again.
they
do it
play
again.
never.
That's the problem with everybody.
Right.
It's like it worked. Well, let's go ahead and do it.
Let's
Like,
let's
do it
beat
again
let's beat it into the
every
ground. Yeah.
year.
this is off topic, and I understand, but like the Minecraft movie just came out.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much money that movie's made?
It's going to probably make $1.5 billion most likely.
No, do you know how much it made already?
Oh, I think the last I saw was like 600 million or something like that.
No, it's not. Hell no.
No, it's not that high. Okay.
Goddamn. It's $313 million. It came out Friday.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
The reason why is because people are going like hate watching it.
Oh.
People are literally hate watching that movie, right? So that's going to give whoever the movie looks fucking terrible. I know it's for children, but like even still, that shit looks awful. And people are going to hate watch this movie, and it's made $300 million.
Yeah, and you also.
Yeah, here's what's gonna happen. They're gonna do a sequel, and it's gonna be the same shit.
But they won't. But they won't get the hate. But they won't get the hate watch views for the sequel.
Who knows?
Like people will learn the lesson from.
I don't know. They made 3 Venom movies, Brad. They made 3.
You know what?
They re-released
a good point.
fucking Morbius because they would say it was Morbin time. You don't know. These people are dumb. Like they're like, oh my goodness. So, you know, I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
if
my son said he wanted to go see the Minecraft movie.
What, Minecraft?
Like, what
Does
the
he
fuck?
play Minecraft?
Tell him to wait 3 weeks and it'll be on fucking.
Right, it'll be on
digital.
I'm telling him no.
No, it won't. It made $300 million.
Go with your mother. She can worry about this fever dream that you've taken her to. So, holy shit.
But it's gonna, yeah, like you said, it's gonna give them the wrong idea. Like it's gonna be great. People are gonna love it, and then they're like, oh shit, people liked it. Let's go ahead and do it again, and it's gonna have diminishing returns, right? Because it's not going to be as good as with this other people.
I mean, like I said, Ubisoft has never met a franchise they couldn't milk every last bit of milk out of before.
They put the rabbits in a Mario game. What the fuck?
Twice.
Well, apparently, it was very good.
Yeah,
but like, still, what?
They did
it random.
It apparently was very. I mean, from by all accounts, it was very
Everyone
good.
loved it.
Yeah, but let's combine the rabbits and Mario and make it XCOM. And it was like it was like a fucking 8.5 out of 10, and nobody bought it. So there you go. Oh my goodness. All right, well, tell you what, take one break. Come back with the post office right after this. If you are not a member of our Discord, you can join up by going to densepixels.com/fans and ask us questions in the Dense Pixels post office that we answer every week. We are still catching up from questions that we had on the docket from the past couple weeks. So let's start with Mark, who asked bets on how long it takes before Assassin's Creed Shadows is discounted. Every other Ubisoft game seems like at full price for about a month and then 35% off.
No, it's not going to get discounted anytime soon because
it's doing very well.
Yeah, it's doing well, and it's being critically, lauded. And there's no there was controversy with it, but like it's not still around anymore. It's not going to be like what's that game that I bought that immediately went on PlayStation Plus?
Oh, Dragon Age?
Dragon Age. Yeah, it's not going to be like Dragon Age, which was out, 3 months?
Yeah.
It came out in October, but it came out October 31st.
Right.
So no, it came out in November. And then it was on PlayStation Plus, the free version or the lowest version.
The essential, version.
For like 3 months later.
Yeah.
Oh, Velgar?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. The fuck? I could have waited 3 months.
You waited 10 years. What's another 3 months? Fuck.
Right. Fuck, man.
Right.
But no, people had their issues with that game, and it didn't sell well. And at this point, they were trying to get people to play it. So, no, this isn't going on sale anytime soon.
Yep. I tend to agree. Johnny asks, would you guys like to see Atlas do a space opera game in the style of Mass Effect? And is this a monkey's paw sort of wish? Atlas has done space-themed games before. I don't see any reason why they couldn't do like a squad-based space RPG, and it would be weird as fuck. I mean, I don't know. Like, Carrie would be the person to tell us whether or not because I think I think there's like Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey, I think is the name of the space faring SMT series, and I've heard it's really weird. I don't know if that's like very squad driven though, but I would assume if it's in the same style as the other SMT games, then it is probably kind of in that vein. But it could be cool. Like I said, I thought fantasy was an interesting swerve for them as well because they did it uniquely. So
yeah, I'd like to see it, and just because it would be different, it would be fresh, it would be new. I think they could pull it off. Like that's the biggest thing. I think they would be able to. I think they would really be able to make something of it. Metaphor Refantasio was phenomenal, and I was ready to write that game off. I was like, whatever, bro. And fantasy. Well, they know about fantasy. It turns out it was an incredibly poignant game.
Yeah.
And
at this point, I fucking hate fantasy, and I love Metaphor Refantasio just because it wasn't the same old shit as other fantasy series. So. Film Wanderer asks, if Ferrari's season keeps going the way it is, who the hell does Lewis Hamilton have to choke to get some luck on his side? This was in the wake of Hamilton and Leclerc finishing, I think, third and fourth, if I'm not mistaken. I think Hamilton was on the podium, and then they both got DQ'd after the race because one of them's car was underweight, and the other one, the floor panel, didn't have enough left on it at the end of the race, so they got DQ'd. Suzuka wasn't a great race this past weekend, so but Max Verstappen won, so it could be an interesting title race, but I don't know if Ferrari is going to be in the picture this year. We'll see. Ricky asks, after just 2 races, now 3 races, can we say that it's the Red Bull car that is the problem and not the second driver? We'll see. It depends on how Yuki Tsunoda does in that car. Obviously, the first race wasn't too good, but it's early times yet. Let's see here. C. Ken asks, if wrestling is fake, why is there a Hall of Fame?
Marketing.
Popularity contest.
Yeah. It's just like everything else regarding wrestling.
And look, you can, and quite frankly, you can argue that like the most prestigious Hall of Fame in sports, which I think most people will tell you is the Baseball Hall of Fame, which it's the most well known, at least, is bullshit too. I think it's complete horseshit that they just refuse to vote in guys that, did they cheat during their career? Sure, but you can't tell the story of baseball without talking about Barry Bonds or Roger Clemens or Alex Rodriguez or Manny Ramirez or guys like that. You just can't. So, like, you can put it on their plaque, you can put whatever asterisk you want on there, but the fact that they're not in the Hall of Fame is like treating it like a fucking purity contest is insane. Now, on the other hand, I'm not saying that like WWE should like elect Chris Benoit to the Hall of Fame. Like, that's a bit different.
Yeah,
like, cheating in sports is a little bit different than what Chris Benoit did.
Right. But at the same time, like, people laud Michael Jordan as the greatest basketball player of all time. That nigga's a gambling addict, yo. Like,
right. Like a bad one too.
Right.
Yeah, but he never bet on his team, which is why Pete Rose can't.
Right, which is why people never.
Right.
He in the WWE Hall of Fame?
He ironically, yes, he isn't.
Oh,
he didn't gamble. He didn't gamble on wrestling. That we know about. Man, fuck Pete Rose though. In all seriousness, that dude fucking sucks. He doesn't need to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. That dude is a piece of shit. I'm glad. And quite frankly, I'm glad he's dead. So, let's see. So Ricky posted the worst adaptation in history versus the worst adaptation today. So a side by side rating of Dragon Ball Evolution, which is a 2.5 out of 10 on IMDb. And the new recent Snow White live action movie, which is a 2.2. So apparently we have a new worst live adaptation of an animated property. He asks, are there any game to movie adaptations that you cannot stand? I'll say, I'll say this. For some reason, the public perception of the Super Mario Brothers movie from the early 1990s is slowly starting to like shift back, and I just want to remind everybody that movie is really bad. and you don't need to
For what?
appreciate it even ironically.
People are starting to like that movie.
Mario,
Like for ironic, like people are starting to, I think, appreciate it ironically, and I'm just telling people you don't have to do that.
Like I was there, nigga.
Right? It is legitimately not a good movie.
I wish I saw that movie in a theater.
Like, and it's not fun bad like Street Fighter is fun bad. It's just bad. It's just bad.
It's not good. There are a ton of them, man. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Look, everybody likes the first Mortal Kombat movie.
The first Mortal Kombat is not that good.
Right.
Honestly.
It's not
not
good.
honest with ourselves.
It's not. It really isn't. And Mortal Kombat Annihilation is worse. So
that movie's fucking god awful.
Right.
It's like a joke.
The Tomb Raider movies. I got a list here. The Tomb Raider movies with what's her face?
Angelina Jolie.
They are just mid. Like they're not bad. They're just mid. They're just mid.
Doom.
Oh god.
Doom.
Yeah.
Had the first person shooter sequence in the end.
Yeah.
That was awful. Pretty much every single Resident Evil movie. I'm not even gonna say the first one was fine. Everything else, I tapped out at 3. I'm not even going to include Uwe Boll movies.
No, they're the class of their own. They're in a completely different department. So
Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li.
Oh yeah.
But I heard it was terrible.
That was awful. What else? I think they start to get better. That was Dead Trigger.
Oh, that was a No, I'm confusing that with Dead to Rights. I was gonna say it's like an old PS2 game, but I'm thinking of Dead to Rights.
Dreamcast game. No, Dead Trigger. I don't know what the fuck. No, that's Out Trigger. Never mind. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I watched. No idea what Dead Trigger is. I watched the first like 5 minutes of Uncharted, and I was just no.
It wasn't very good, but it wasn't god awful. Right? It was just like this is not.
Also, you know what? Speaking of Mortal Kombat, that new Mortal Kombat movie is not that good.
But can you not stand it? Like that? Like I think we're missing the scope of the question. Like I can't stand the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Okay.
From 1993.
Of those movies that I listed, I can't stand Mortal Kombat 2.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li. The other, and like the Uwe Boll movie, I haven't watched a bunch of Uwe Boll movies. But everything else is like watchable. Maybe one time. But that Street Fighter movie was awful. And then Mortal Kombat Annihilation is just like, shut up.
Yeah, that's a piss poor movie. Like, yeah, it's terrible. What the fuck was going on? It's like they spent less money on that one.
Right.
And the first
one
was
glorious. No, it's not. It's not glorious at all.
Did you know the guy that played Shao Kahn in that movie was the same guy that was the main bad guy in Cobra? Those are the only 2 movies I know him from.
I think I've seen him in something else.
I'm sure he's been in other things, but those are the only 2 movies that I could identify him from. So there's that. Didn't Christopher Lambert? Christopher Lambert wasn't even in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. They had to get James Remar in there.
Yeah, they got Dexter's dad.
James Remar as fucking right.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why? Is Raiden white?
They like the new look. Like they didn't even give him a wig, yo. Like,
I mean, like I said, if your movie is too poor for Christopher Lambert to make an appearance, you have serious problems. Christopher Lambert's been in some real bad movies. I like James Remar too, but I'm sorry. Like Christopher Lambert. Yeah, Christopher Lambert was a fun part of that first Mortal Kombat movie. Like he was chewing the scenery. Like we appreciated him being there. So, couple questions from Beach Boy. The first one, just saw the direct. What titles are you guys excited for? We kind of talked about this last week. But he asks you and I, Micah, is this 007 Project 007 game, a possible GoldenEye remake. Lord, I hope not. Please,
yeah, I
God,
hope not,
no.
man.
Yeah,
I hope not.
please, God, no.
Speaking of things being seen through rose-colored glasses, man. Like, go back and play GoldenEye. Go back and play GoldenEye the
Today.
way it was
Right.
played back in the day. Okay,
I did that a couple months ago.
Yeah,
On shoot hardware, on original hardware.
Right.
No.
Did you?
No. Why?
Oh,
No.
didn't
Even
play
on new hardware, I was still like, no.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me you didn't play the twin stick shooter with one stick and 4 buttons?
I did that in Perfect Dark, and I'm like, good God, this is fucking terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were fooled into believing that it was top tier because it was all that we had.
All we had.
It's all we had at the time. And they also asked, do you think with the high price of Switch 2 games, that things such as DLCs and cosmetics will still be a thing? Not from Nintendo,
Of course they are.
but it'll absolutely be. Actually, yes, from Nintendo, they will absolutely put out DLC from Mario Kart World eventually, 100%.
Yeah. I think this is just this is now the advancing of the status quo, right? Like this is it happens eventually all the time. It just sucks that it's happening as we're about to be in a recession. But
Recession's optimistic.
yeah.
Like, the biggest issue I have with DLC is the cost. Like I said, in Apex Legends, like, you have guns, like gun skins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would I pay $18 for a skin on a gun? That's fucking crazy.
You are not the customer they are targeting.
They do that for I don't know what customer they targeting. That shit.
The people that'll pay for it.
Way too much disposable income. Those fucking whales are out of their mind. Like, for cosmetic shit, they're paying like $10, $20 for shit like that.
Look,
you get a whole new character in a fighting game for $5.
Be appreciative that they're subsidizing the game for the rest of you. The like that 5% is literally paying for everyone else to play for free, basically.
Like I was playing Diablo 4.
Oh no!
Cosmetics.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on the price of those
cosmetics are
things.
like $25.
Right. I'm looking at how much each of the the gold or whatever it costs to purchase the cosmetics, and I'm like, this is like 2,000 gold. That's $20.
even like weapon skins are like $15. Like I think it's egregious to charge. Like I think it's egregious to charge for a whole ass set of armor $25, but like you're gonna charge me fucking $15 for a weapon skin? Like, get the hell out of here.
If you're gonna do it, like, make it you'll get more people to pay for the shit if it's like $1.
And to be fair, go ahead.
You know what I'm more offended by? I'm more offended by, regarding Diablo 4 specifically, I'm more offended that there's not even like some trickery or some chicanery between the gold and the dollar, right? Like, no, it's a 1-to-1.
Yeah, that's
Oh, you want to be lied to when you're purchasing your premium cards?
Yo, like, try to make me do math, yo. Like,
and to be fair,
2,600 gold, like $26.
Just from the standpoint of fairness, Path of Exile does charge a similar amount for their armor sets, but that game is also free to play. Diablo 4,
right? That's fine.
Yes, it is. I mean, it will be. It will be when it's at early access. Yeah, but it's in early access.
I wanted to play Path of Exile too, but it's like $30. I'm like, I don't want to do early access. I don't want to pay for early access.
Take it from me. Let it cook. Let it cook. Okay. It's still a little.
Path of Exile, the first one, I put like $100 in Path of Exile.
Yeah. But Diablo 4 is a $70 game with a $40 expansion, and they still expect you to pay $25 for a set of armor. Get the fuck out of here.
I saw that. I'm like,
get out of my face.
This is $18. Get the fuck out of here, yo.
Yeah.
No. Nah.
You
man, that's crazy.
you like how they do that trick also, that the store tab is always like, oh, like here's a new notification icon on the store tab all the time.
Yo, I'm just because I have slight OCD. I want to get rid of that fucking thing.
Oh, they know. They're well aware.
Because it's always there. Fucking ass.
They are well aware.
Yeah, that shit is insane. And then when you go to the store, that fucking animation of the woman with the cars, I'm like, all right, man, y'all doing
like look at my wares. Look at my wares.
Fuck you. That shit's disgusting.
Oh my lord. Yeah. They don't even give you, and I don't know if you fuck with the battle pass, but like the premium I've bought the premium battle pass once, because like the think season 6. Yeah, season 6 when the new expansions came out. I did pay for that. You don't even earn enough like, you know how Apex at least lets you earn enough platinum.
Yeah, it lets you earn
currency to get the new one. Yeah, you don't even do that. They give you like $7 worth of currency, and then they're just like,
so
oh,
foul,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love predatory microtransaction pricing. It's the best.
$18 skin for a fucking character you can barely fucking see.
Right.
Get out of my
zoom in. Gotta zoom in, Terrence. You gotta get every
zoom
bit
in
of that.
to look at the lower res textured version of the thing you just bought. Like, all right, man, get out of here. Get out of here.
Sure, it sure does look good on the inventory screen though. You can see your see your character.
It's
there,
great.
So, finally, Jace asks, not sure if I mentioned this before, but there's a game section on my new Samsung TV. You can stream titles through different services like Xbox Luna, Nvidia GeForce Now, Utomic Boost Story, etc. Do you believe that with the rising cost of hardware, especially now tariff tax, that this will be a viable avenue for gaming? Truth be told, they're still in the previous gen, PS4 and Xbox One. I'm considering this at this point whether or not I should skip the current generation. So yeah, this especially Xbox getting on board with this has been a more recent development because Xbox just wants to be anywhere that you have the ability to possibly play a video game. I don't think this is ever gonna for like core gamers, like probably most of the people listening to the show. I don't know that this will ever be an effective replacement for getting actual hardware, but I think that for people that approach it more casually, it could be.
Yeah, I can tell you for me, like I said, I tried cloud gaming, and it was the bitrate. It ran fine, perfectly fine. The bitrate was fucking awful, terrible. Like I'm like, this looks fucking bad. So if they can improve the bitrate, maybe, because again, the games run fine. Like you're not going to do that for first-person shooters. If you're trying to play online competitively, absolutely not. But yeah, if they can somehow improve the bitrate, I could see just a casual person. Oh, let me just go ahead and download this and play it on my TV without any like cost of me buying a system or anything like that. But no, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. But if you're on previous gen, I guess if you're not too worried about it, if you like Nintendo, for instance, I know the Switch 2 is finally at 1080, 60 frames per second, or up to 120. Like, I can see a Nintendo doing it with their games, but like, it's Nintendo.
Yeah,
they want as much money as possible, so they're not going to do that. They're a little silly hardware. But hardcore gamers, no. Like if you're casual, like if you're like somebody that plays like cozy games, like what is that?
Stardew, things of that nature.
Yeah, Stardew Valley, things like that. No, I wouldn't see them not doing it.
Yeah. I've heard that Nvidia GeForce Now is actually probably the best of the cloud services. Like I've watched a lot of people play it through the Nvidia cloud, and it seems like it's fucking rock solid. So that might be one to look at if you're looking for that sort of thing. Do you guys know a single person who's used Amazon Luna? I could not name one person that I know.
I don't know what the fuck Amazon Luna is.
It's their it's their cloud gaming service.
I never heard of it. Didn't even know it existed. So yeah, I didn't know anything about that. I did do remote gaming. I wanted to see what remote gaming looked like. Streaming from my Xbox to my phone. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like
I have a good Wi-Fi connection.
I bought a controller for my PC, and it's a Bluetooth controller. It works really well. Like, fucking shockingly well. But yeah, just streaming, regular streaming. No. Then again, cloud gaming on the phone looks fine because like you don't really see.
Right, it's compressed down and it's
on that little
lower
screen.
Yeah, lower image. And the other thing too that will help with this sort of thing, and this is probably why GeForce Now works as well as it does, as more companies invest into like AI on the back end to supplement things in terms of like frame generation and things of that nature, that'll also help that, because to Terrence's point, like the bitrate is a problem because you're trying to push a 1080p image, at 60 frames per second. That's fucking hard to do. Like anyone that's tried to stream on Twitch will tell you that's a fucking hard thing to do. But if they can push a 720 image at 30 frames a second through and just have AI insert the missing frames and upscale the image to 1080, well, then that's a lot easier on the bitrate portion to be able to handle that. So.
And we also have to have better internet in this country for that to be.
Well, we can't even.
There's that. I'm lucky enough to have been in a fucking state that has had high-speed internet since like 1999. Remember Comcast at Home?
Oh yeah,
remember that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had that when I was fucking like 19 years old.
I am I have I finally invested in a VPN. I've been meaning to forever. Not for privacy purposes, but so I can watch the Orioles, because Masson does not do any over-the-top streaming, but I get free MLB TV from T-Mobile. So like I can watch every Oriole game now for the price of Surfshark, which is negligible. So I'm this close to just getting rid of YouTube TV, but now I'm talking to my wife and I'm like, I think we could use gigabit internet now at this point. I think we can make the argument to get the full full thing. So
well, if that's all you're paying for,
yeah. So we'll see how that goes. I think she's on board though. We'll see what happens there. Well, thank you guys very much for your questions. We finally got through the whole list. Again, if you are not a member of Discord, you can sign up by going to densepixels.com/fans. You can also watch the podcast in video format every week. See all of our faces by going to youtube.com/densepixels. If you're more of an audio person, you can check us out. Download your podcaster app of choice. And just search for TNP Studios. You'll find us. You'll find the Nerdpocalypse, Black and Black Cinema, and the Look Forward Political podcast. And if you really want to support us, don't worry. We are not going to ask you for tariffed pricing on this, even though part of the show is exported, part of the network is exported from Mexico. We're still just going to ask you for the same $5 a month by going to densepixels.com/premium. That really shows your support to what we do here, and it also gets you the full episode of the Look Forward Political podcast that you get to listen to. And as we say every week, say again.
Where the new episode at?
Yeah, apparently Jay got busy because Jay works for a news organization. And I don't know if you know, Terrence, things have been busy when it comes to the news. So yeah, he did. He told me he's editing that today as we're recording this, so most people should see it around the same time that they see this podcast. So weirdly enough, what we talked about is still pretty relevant because we did wait until after the tariffs were announced. So we basically spent an hour talking about how stupid the tariffs are, and then all sorts of other things. Besides that, unfortunately, we do not get to basically Lar Loomer dictating who and who isn't at the NSA anymore. That's a fun one that's going to have to wait for next episode.
All right, that dude got fired because of course he did.
Two people, the head and his deputy, both got shit canned thanks to that person. So good times.
All right.
It sucks. I hate it here. But we push on. Thank you all very much for watching and listening. Also, gamers, apparently Blueprints comes out this week. Apparently a Game of the Year contender, from what I've heard. Blueprints is coming out this week. Look into it. I don't know much about it because as soon as I heard people say it's amazing, I wanted to just kind of not learn about it. Apparently, it is a first-person solve 'em up. Kind of akin to like an Outer Wilds sort of situation, or Forgotten City sort of situation. But many in the industry are saying it is like a legit fucking like game of the generation contender. So
architectural roguelite adventure.
Yeah, don't you got to read past what's on the tin, Terrence.
Okay,
it's gonna be on Game Pass. You have no excuse.
When is that?
Later this week on launch. So Blueprints. Everybody.
Oh, for some reason, I'm like, I thought you said blueprint.
No, I'm trying to enunciate. I'm trying to enunciate blueprints, as in royalty. Blueprints.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Considering what this game is about, it might be a play on words.
It is a play on words. Yes.
Okay.
It is a play on words. A real Phoenix Down movement. A lot of people are going to have when they when they understand the meaning of the name. Okay. But that's going to be it for us. Thank you all very much for watching and listening, and we will see you all the next time.
Take it.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.